the best revenge ever. Ready? The best revenge. So there was this moment in my life not too long ago where I had to cultivate and foster up so much, honestly, like a movie, some parts like a horror movie. It was not enjoyable at all. Hi, lovely, and welcome to Start Somewhere with Isabel, your self-investment podcast created to empower you to fight fear, cultivate confidence, and become your most empowered self. I love to say, no matter the goal, whether big or small, this podcast will give you the motivation to start. But quick disclaimer, before we start, this show is only for those committed to personal growth and self-investment. So if you don't value either of these two things, then this probably isn't the podcast for you. But if you are and you're ready to start with the first step, not the entire staircase, let's start somewhere together. Happy 11/11. As this episode goes live, it's November the 11th, and I'm going to be giving a bit of an astrology reading throughout the next few episodes. I love astrology. I love star signs, and we are in November. We are in my birthday month. I'm a Sagittarius, and we are going to be talking all about the planets and what's going on and how these episodes actually quite tactically and strategically planned based on what is happening in the planets in astrology around us. I did this on purpose, guys. I brain dumped a bunch of episodes for our Unbothered series, which is what November is all about, and I have now allocated them based on what is happening in the planets. So happy 11/11. This is a fun, fabulous day in the astrology world. It's all about luck and alignment, all the good things. And November 11 is when Venus enters Capricorn. What does this mean? This means it's a perfect portal to manifest unconditional love through discipline and commitment. So this is what this Capricorn energy is all about, which is hardworking, disciplined commitment, all about the money and the growth and the work and the business and all these kind of grounding, hardworking capabilities. My siblings are Capricorns, and it's so obvious because they are very into this kind of stuff. So think of a Capricorn in your life, somebody who's born in January, and see if you can pull apart any of these traits within them. But Venus has entered Capricorn, and Venus is all about love, okay? So we are manifesting love through the energy of Capricorn. So during this time, it is fantastic to make decisions based on, my favorite thing, integrity. Make your decisions based on integrity, respect, and long-term commitment. Think of whatever you have committed to or you are doing in your life at the moment. Is this honoring what you want to be doing long term? Or are you doing it just because? Are you doing it just to fill time? Are you working at a job that isn't actually what you want to be doing because you're complacent or because it's easy? Or is it because it's actually honoring your future and what you want to be doing? So use your discernment here. Use this integrity. Base your decisions off of integrity and respect. So the point is, now we are in this energy that makes it easier to navigate and change. So after this episode, you will have the tools to thrive with change. So buckle up. We are in for a good ride. Before we start, I'm going to start to share a few things I've recently started, just to kind of let you know that I am a walking, talking embodiment of Start Somewhere, and I love to try new things. And something I have recently started is at this new fitness gym called Revel. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it. I'm pretty sure it's all over Australia. I'm probably very late to the party, but it is a functional, your weights, your cardio, kind of like Body Fit, if people know what that is as well. And I'm somebody who, I love trialing new fitness studios. One of my coworkers at my office, we are both very much into fitness. She's way stronger than me, but we are very much into fitness, and we love to try all the new studios around our area. We've done Pilates, we're doing Revel together. We are always thinking of like what the next studio it is that we can try. And I love just getting amongst it, meeting new people in the community, trying out a new exercise, and then if I really love it, buying, a 10-week pack or a month pack or even a membership. And I've realized I'm slowly becoming a member of so many gyms, and that's where I'm putting all of my money. At the moment, I'm going to 3 gyms. One of them is a Pilates studio, one's my normal gym, and now Revel. And I just love it. That's where all my money goes, is health and fitness. I love buying keto snacks. So another thing I've also not recently started, but I've really been doing for over a year now is eating more keto. And this is where you have less carbs and a higher protein and fat diet. And don't get me wrong, I've been doing a lot of research on how this impacts female hormone health as well, because that's something I'm really focusing on at the moment, is balancing my hormones. I feel that's something we are always should or try to be doing. And I noticed that I do a lot of intermittent fasting and a lot of keto. And I realized that it was doing wonders for me in terms of my body, my physique. I really slimmed and toned down so much. I love it. And I've never felt better. Like, I have so much energy. I'm so mindful with what I consume, what I eat. But I really delved in deeper and I understood when is best to intermittent fast and when is best to eat keto based on my period cycle. So this is really interesting as well. So my health and fitness is one of my number one values. I love it so much. It's where a lot of my money goes. Like I said, I will invest dollars into healthier eating and going to fitness studios and even activewear if I have to. Like, that's because that's what I value. And I've always said this, I would rather spend $20 on a Pilates class than a cocktail. Any day of the week. Shoot me. People love cocktails. You know what, guys? I'm actually not into them that much. The sugar gets to me. The next day, I swear to God, I have a sugar hangover, not an alcohol hangover. Because the other night I was at a gala dinner for a work event. It was so much fun. And, you know, when I went in there, I'm like, I really don't want to drink a lot tonight because it's free alcohol, beautiful wine, champagne, sparkling, all the good stuff. I had a few glasses of sparkling. And then we went on to this beautiful rooftop bar with a bunch of our clients. And we just had so many cocktails. And I'm like, no, I have the gym tomorrow at 9:30. It's late, it's past my bedtime. I don't want to be drinking cocktails, but you know, whatever. I had a few too many. And I swear to God, Saturday and Sunday, the next 2 days, I was wrecked and I blame the sugar. I tell you not. Like, there are many times I will often enjoy a great glass of sparkling or wine if I'm at a work event, which is a lot of the nights throughout the week. I'm always out and about at things. And I do have a nice glass of sparkling. And I'm like, whatever, the bubbles, it's fun. It's a good time. It's a good healthier option if you want to drink. Obviously, the healthiest option is not to drink, but like, life is short. I'm young. So I notice when I have sparkling or wine, I'm fine, but the cocktails, the sugar, it gets to me. So, okay, full tangent right there. Before we start as well, no, we're just going to get into it. So let's get straight into the crux of this episode. How to thrive with change. How to feel motivated and inspired. How to be your own muse. This is a part of my Unbothered series, what we are going to be talking a lot about on the show in November. And I'm so excited to get into it. I am going to be sharing a post on Instagram in the coming weeks. It will most likely already be up by the time this episode is live, but it is all about being your own muse. And I wrote this caption one night. It just came to me out of nowhere, like a lot of my content does. And I'll read it out to you now. We'll see if I change it by the time it goes live. So what inspired me is that recently a lot of people have been asking me, Isabel, how do you think of new things to say on the podcast every single time? How do you get new ideas? How do you get over 122 ideas for content for your podcast? And for some reason, I forget that a lot of people would find that quite difficult and quite challenging, because to me, it comes quite effortlessly. And I know a big strength of mine is thinking on the spot and coming up with creative ideas. That's my strong suit. And so my answer to this is I am my own muse. I like to find learnings and observe different perspectives throughout all of my life experiences. So my personal transformation inspires me so much, which is what led me to actually start somewhere, because I find a lot of the insights that I share are extremely real and relatable to you. So I'm so passionate to learn more about life, and I love the life I continue to create for myself. Even if I'm not exactly where I want to be yet, I still love the life I've created for myself. I do romanticize the small mundane moments. My morning routine, reading in bed with a coffee, with a little espresso every single morning, going about my day, going to meetings, meeting with clients, going to shoots, going to work events, meeting people all the time. I find so much joy in these everyday tasks I do. Don't get me wrong. Get me on the first flight to Europe and let me enjoy my best life over there any day of the week. However, I have found so much love and joy for the life I live right now. So I value and appreciate my own uniqueness. And I pay attention to my thoughts, quite close attention to my thoughts. We're observing, not absorbing though. I don't get too caught up in them and overthink. Because this way of thinking, this way of being and doing is actually what sparks endless creative ideas for me. Endless, endless, endless. If I wanted to, I could so easily record a new podcast episode every single day on something new. I could just flick through old journals, think of some ideas, reflect on my past days or weeks. So how can you be your own muse? Start by romanticizing the simple, mundane moments in your life. And what is that? It's your morning routine. It's the same thing you do every single day. It's the commute you take to work. It's perhaps the same lunch you eat every single day. It's the Pilates class you choose to go to in the evening. It's the weekend ritual you have with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. How can you romanticize these really simple things in your life? And so it's important to notice that challenges and change, they may once have seemed impossible, but then they become easier to navigate. So there was this moment in my life not too long ago where I had to cultivate and foster up so much strength and resilience to get myself out of a particular situation. Looking back now, it was honestly like a movie, some parts like a horror movie. It was not enjoyable at all. But I did it. I got myself out of it. And last night, actually, I was watching this video and it actually sparked this realization of how far I've come and what I had to endure to get here. So my unwavering persistence and commitment was unfathomable to myself. I was, and I still am, so inspired. And this is a part of what it means to be your own muse. To be inspired by your growth, your transformation, how far you've come. And even if you look back on your life and maybe it's the exact same as it was 3, 6, 12 months ago, I guarantee you that because you listen to this podcast, your mindset is different. Your perspective is different. The way you think or the way you respond is different, regardless if your physical world is actually the same. And that's still a very powerful place to be. More often than not, we think that a new location or a new setting is what is going to solve our problems. We think getting a haircut, we think dyeing our hair, we think dressing a certain way is what is actually going to change our world. That stuff does help to an extent, but it's a lot of what our inside world is like and our perspective and who we are and how we show up. It really is how we show up in this world that what is going to change the trajectory of it and what is going to help you be more inspired by your own growth and your own transformation. And that leads me to the first point of how to thrive with change and feel more motivated and more inspired. Accept when something is and leave it as that. It is what it is a saying thrown around all the time. And it's actually just accepting that. Accepting that people will disappoint you, situations will upset you, you will go through challenges, shitty things will happen, really, really shitty things will happen to you. And it's just accepting it. And I am proud of myself because I am a very optimistic, positive person. But there was a point in my life many years ago where I was a lot younger and more naive, where I wouldn't actually allow the shitty things to be. But I think it shows a really beautiful trait of resilience and maturity when you can actually just accept that bad and shitty things happen and that's just a part of life. And it's how you choose to navigate them that is what is going to impact your future. And it's not being naive and it's not being ignorant and just pushing it under the rug and pretending like it doesn't happen, because you know the phrase just be delulu when it comes to manifesting. People can be so delusional where they do something really bad and they convince themselves, they actually end up convincing themselves that that quote unquote bad thing didn't actually happen, because they're just so in denial and they're so delusional. And they try and convince everybody around them that that also didn't happen. And it's so fucking strange. But when you can actually just accept that something really bad happened and that's it, you can move forward. And that's it. You can leave it behind you. If you listen to last week's episode, the analogy or the visualization of the meditation, and you have your backpack and it's full of all these really heavy rocks, which is actually just all the BS that's happened in your past. And you can actually choose to just throw that backpack into a river and let it go. And it can just leave. And it's in the past and that's it. Like you can actually choose that. You can actually choose for things just to be behind you. And it's really interesting because they will try and come back. And it will be a test from the universe. Okay, ladies, I know that all of you can resonate with this. How many of us have somebody from our past, maybe it was a guy we were dating, in a situationship with, maybe he actually was a boyfriend, someone we had a crush on, someone we would flirt with a lot, just any of those kind of categories. How many of them have come back? Maybe it's through a DM, a liking of a photo, running into them, a text message, a call. They always come back. It's such a thing. I bring this up with every single girl all the time, all of my girlfriends, and they all say the same thing. And it's just like, what is up with that? It's because, my love, it's because you have grown, you have evolved, you have flourished. And they have seen or heard about it. And they think, depending on whether they're a good or bad person, they either see that and their ego gets hurt and bruised, like, oh, how dare she be doing this without me? Or, oh, she looks like she's doing so well in life. Let me try and see if I can get back in her life. Because you are a catch. You are. And this person over here that fumbled you and let you go or treated you badly, or maybe nothing bad actually ever happened, but you just went your separate ways. Actually, no, it's normally when they treat you badly, they come back. They see you doing well and they want to come back, and it will be a test from the universe. And it's so funny I share this because this has happened to me twice in the past 2 days, 2 different people. And it's so interesting because I know so like spiritually, I know this is such a test from the universe, and I have passed the test with flying colors. I'm so proud of myself. And I've come out with this new learning and realization how if you want to get to the next level, you have to change the way you do certain things, how you respond, how you behave, how you show up. And that is accepting when something is and leaving it just as that. Leave things in the past. Don't bring them with you. That's my thoughts anyway. Yes, people can have second chances, absolutely. But use your own discernment. Use the energy, use the time we're in right now with that integrity and with that respect for yourself, to use your discernment, to understand if and when you should let something back in your life, but more often than not, accept where it is and leave it as that. That is what is going to help you feel more motivated and inspired, I guarantee you. Okay, number 2, don't invest energy or blame or even attempt to overanalyze why somebody is the way they are. It is not your job to be a psychologist. It is not your job to psychoanalyze them. It is not your job to figure out what their traumas are or what their childhood wounds are or insert anything else. It is not your job at all. So don't invest energy or blame. Remember, guys, the best revenge ever, ready? The best revenge is no revenge. The best revenge is being unbothered. The best revenge is staying in your own lane and focusing on yourself and focusing on the people that choose you. When you start to do this, oh my God, will your life just go to a whole nother level? Give time and energy and love to the people that give that back to you. Who actually takes time out of their day to call their friends, to catch up, to ask how they are? I do this with all of my friends. We all are busy, we all work, we all live in different states, we all insert any other excuse. But to actually carve out an hour, 2 hours of your evening, to have them on the phone, to talk about life, to just debrief things, to dissect things, to discuss things, to be there for that person. That is somebody who is investing in you. And I love that I have so many beautiful friendships in my life where we call each other and we just are there for each other, and we invest time into each other's lives, and we ask how their day actually is and how that certain thing actually is going. It's not just surface. It's not just, the friendship isn't just, oh, I'm busy, I'm working. And then before you know it, it's been 3 months and you haven't seen some of your closest friends. That's so sad. End of the day, it's all about connection. It's all about who's around you. That is really all that matters. All that fucking matters. And that was such a big, I don't know if lesson is the right word, but that was such a beautiful realization for me this year especially, is really recognizing and seeing who is actually there for me and who I actually consider a real friend. And when I was planning a wedding for myself, I'm not actually getting married, guys. When I was getting married once upon a time, it's so weird to say that, and I was thinking who my bridesmaids would be, and that was a really big realization for me to be like, wow, who do I actually consider like a genuine real friend in my life? And that's really what started this whole ball rolling of investing energy in people who are for you. And then secondly, not wasting time to overanalyze why people behave a certain way. And more often than not, it's not personal. If somebody has gone MIA and they're not replying and they've disappeared, more often than not, we make it about ourselves. We're like, oh, this person is ignoring me. They haven't done this, they haven't done that. It's like, get over yourself. It's not about you. Most of the time, it's not about you. It's about them. And that's okay. It's not your job to psychoanalyze them. It's not your job. Because instead, number 3, look forward. Look at how you can create the best possible outcome. Investing in these long-term relationships, building these strong foundations with people. So how and where can you deepen the connections with those around you, with those who align similarly to you? How can you spend more time with these loved ones? How can you align yourself with your deepest and most truest values? Because it all comes back to you. If you are living a life that is not authentic and that is not in your truth, you will attract people that reflect that. But as soon as you step into what is for you, you attract the right people and they stick around and the right opportunities come your way. The fact there was a time in my life where I was working full-time, 9 to 5, stopped my business, stopped my podcast, was engaged, planning a wedding, buying a house. Not to say those things aren't for me, but they weren't in alignment with me yet. And as soon as I really started to honor what I truly wanted, and people that disrespected me, I left away, I put in the past, and I made those really bold, scary decisions that were only going to honor myself, is when my life completely transformed in the most beautiful way. And no, I did not get cold feet, guys, if that's what anybody thinks. There's nothing more I wanted than to get married. Nothing more. But when I just really had to choose myself, and anybody that was completely disrespecting me, I had to cultivate that courage and strength and be like, oh, this is really disappointing, but it's just not honoring my future self. And you need to have a really beautiful level of self-love, which is self-respect, which is honoring you and not settling. And if something isn't right, knowing when to walk away. And it works out. It always works out. Like, spoiler alert, it always works out. And the fact I can sit here and I can smile and I can say that and I can feel so safe is fucking incredible. And I love that so much. So where can you align yourself with your deepest and most truest values? What are those long-term intentions that you have? And pause if you have to. This might not come straight away. Give it time, write it out, come back to it tomorrow, the next day. So that was a fun episode. We started off very vibrant and I feel like we got quite, not deep, but we kind of just got a bit more serious and real there. But I do know that a lot of the episodes are quite relatable, and I'm going to reread our lovely review from a longtime listener, Billy. She says, I love this podcast, super relatable content, but always throwing in new information, which I find interesting. Some podcasts can get super long and boring, in caps, not this one. Thank you so much, Bill. You've been a long time listener, lover, supporter, follower, community member of Start Somewhere, and I appreciate you leaving the review so much. So if you want to have a shout out on the show, have your name read, your review read, it would mean the world to me if you could please take literally less than 120 seconds of your time, of your day, to leave the show a rating and review. If you're on Spotify, I believe you can swipe up and give it a 5-star rating. If you are an Apple Podcast, you can leave a text review along with a 5-star review. It will take you less than 2 minutes and it will help us out for many more episodes, seasons, and years to come. Thank you so much, as always, for starting somewhere, and I will see you and talk with you in our next episode.